Hello, welcome to Present Past's first unboxing party of the Dark Mansion Tarot. Ooh, I'm so excited for this one. So I'm going to wear black gloves for this presentation. I love that it comes in a black box. It has a little extra mystique to it that way. And yeah, let's break out these scissors that are not black and crack open this box. Ah, whoa, ooh. Eee, very exciting. So, Taroteca Studios, for the love of cards. So it comes in a secondary little cardboard box. Boom. Nice. And then we can open and get our fun little styrofoam. Throw that styrofoam away. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Peanuts everywhere. Let those go. So this deck is the creation of Taroteca Studios in Poland. The artist is named Magdalena Kakzan, and the other producer of it is Krzysztof Waziuk. I could be saying those names completely wrong. Forgive me if I do. So this is a fun little case. It's produced with a binding on one side, so you can open it and not lose the lid. Really lovely on the inside, and I like that the outside has some embossed shinies on it. Very cool. Ooh, I'm so excited. So this deck comes with two different backings of the cards. One of them is blue with sky, and the other one is brown with this design on it. And this is the back of the card that I chose. I really like it. It has that layered 3D look to it. And the cloud version also has that. So the first card we have is the Fool card. Really silly, goofy, following the traditional symbolism with the dog. Very cute. And then the Magician. And I love that this deck has kind of a Victorian thing going on with it. Almost like a steampunk design. So the High Priestess. I love that it's an actual old woman. I feel like a lot of High Priestess cards have these very young maiden types. And I feel like the older I get, the wiser I get in these ways, you know. The Empress. More maiden-like, and I like her sly look. And the Emperor, and I really appreciate how he kind of is looking straight on, and she's kind of looking chin to the side a bit, giving you that sidelong glance. Beautiful flowers all around her, and he has more of the austere building around him. And I like that they took the animals from the Emperor normally here has animals on his throne, and here they put the animals behind him on the wall. Very cool. Oh, the Hierophant. Oh, love this deck. I love that there's really beautiful little details up around all the edges. And it has that darkness to it, but it really has such a light-hearted darkness to it. Really fun. The Lovers card. This is, I mean, I have never seen a Lovers card that has the agitated, unwanted, unrequited character in the background. Very Les Mis. And I love that the snake is up in the wings of the angel. They have the two trees still. So I love that it's integrating these traditional symbols in a fun way. The Chariot card. It's an actual, you know, chariot in that Victorian way. And, you know, he's a well-to-do fella of the Victorian era, I'm guessing. Strength card. Oh, gosh, look at her. What a character. Really enjoying the viciousness of the lion and her blank-faced stare. The Hermit card. Oh, it's, you know, this is really the Hermit to me. It's an old man with a lot of books. I love that. I love that he still has his lantern, capturing a lot of that same symbolism. Is that it? Okay. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. So, Wheel of Fortune card, really fun Ferris wheel design. And I like that it looks like it's the 4 elements of air, water, fire, earth, wrapped around the Ferris wheel. Very cool. Justice card. I like that this deck really goes with something that's more familiar to us. I mean, even though, of course, this is Victorian era England, but I love that it captures that fun familiarity that we have with these archetypes. Oh, missing the Hanged Man there. Ooh. The Hanged Man card. Now, the vampire thing, not really part of my archetype of the Hanged Man, but it still carries the Odin story with the way he's hung from a tree. Just fun. The Death card. Death looking kind of sad, looking kind of glum, maybe tired of his job. Really playful. Love this deck. Love the colors in this deck. Temperance card. So yeah, I just like that it's almost like in real world situation, you can see someone. I like how she has one foot in the water still, like the traditional image. I love the silly little goose in the corner, or bird, that's just like looking at her. I just love it. The playfulness is great. And, you know, I can imagine sitting and churning some water on the edge of a pier. I like how it just carries forth that familiarity with it of real life. The Devil card. As a woman, not that common. I've seen a lot of decks. Even if I only own 20, I have perused countless decks in my many years as a reader. I love looking at decks. And it's rare for me that I find a deck that I get this excited about. I saw this deck and within 12 hours I bought it, and normally I take years to make a decision. I'm a Cancerian. I like to go slow about things. So the Tower card, I mean, I love that it's morbid. It reminds me of Edward Gorey a little bit. Morbid, playful, colorful, fun. I'd love to know more about this artist and what else she creates. Star card. So feel free to also leave in the comments like what your favorite cards are in this deck, what inspires you about this deck, what decks are familiar to you that are similar to it, what you don't like about it. I like her sort of seriousness of her task, you know? The facial expressions in this deck are really fun. And, oh, I'm excited. Does this deck have 2 moons? No. Okay, so this particular series of decks has 2 different moon cards. I'll say that the previous version had a moon card that I did like more, but I still appreciate that her face is the moon, and she's got that dog by her side with the wild dog in the background over here. And they still have the towers, but they're just in the background. So the great integration of the symbology of the tarot. The Sun card. Oh, I'm so glad I got this version because this deck has, I think, a couple cards that are multiple versions. And there was another version of this Sun card that I saw when I was scrolling through, and this is the one that I prefer. I love that they're looking at a thing for les voyages à travers l'impossible, the impossible journey of the traveler or something like that. And what I love about this is that that's, in a sense, for me, I'm a film geek. And for me, that's an homage to Georges Méliès, who the movie Hugo is referencing. And it's very much that turn of the century. He was the very first filmmaker to use special effects in camera. And when I went to Paris, I actually drew the image of his bust on his grave in my journal because he was a true forerunner of the imagination of cinema instead of the reality of cinema. And this is very reminiscent of it. You know his image of the moon, the face with the moon, with the famous image of the rocket ship in the moon's eye. That's him. So, Judgment card. Very Day of the Dead kind of thing going on here. And the World card, which was the card that inspired me to get this deck. Someone posted this on a study group online, and I saw this, and I was like, what is that? Me need. So I love that it still has the animals of the different elements, earth, fire, air, and I suppose that's water as a human. Um, so adorable. Love it. All right, moving into wands. So I go a little faster through the minor arcana, but I'm very excited that this has a decorated minor arcana. I get really bored with pip decks. I really like it when there's a deck that has a lot to work with. Two of Wands, that tightrope walk as you're building up your plans of what you're doing. Three of Wands, going off on that journey with her suitcases. I just love this. I love this because it captures so much of a movie story for me, and being a film buff, this really feels like a neat movie to me. Four of Wands, getting that romance on, capturing the sort of engagement of that card. Five of Wands, reminds me a little bit of that Scorsese film with the rabbits. Oh, is she doing this with gloves sometimes? Oh, that is a 6. They're nice thick cards. They have a really soft texture to them. I can even feel it through the gloves. So 6 of Wands, interesting, a marriage for 6 of Wands. That's not how I interpret that card. I much more interpret the 4 of Wands as an engagement card. And it's a different couple, so it's not exactly a story interrelated through the cards. But, yeah, I really see the 6 of Wands more as a returning home and being accepted, and I suppose that can be a wedding card. 7 of Wands, this is definitely inspired by the Scorsese film, oh, what's the name? Oh, The Gangs of New York. Very Gangs of New York related. And this actually reminds me of a Miyazaki film about a witch. Oh, post in the comments. I'll post it in the description because I know it when I see it. But, 9 of Wands. Great. I love this. He has that look on his face is so 9 of Wands. I love how he's capturing that sort of like, I know what I'm doing, get out of my way attitude. And 10 of Wands, the typical Burton. I like that he's wearing that peasant hat. And being that this is from Poland, it really, I think it captures a lot of the fairy tales of Europe as well. Oh, my hands are getting a little fluffy from the edges of the cards. Oh. So, Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands. King of Wands. Ooh, Ace of Cups. I mean, the color. Look at the color difference. Let's go back. So the Ace of Wands, look at that capturing of fire energy versus the water coolness. I mean, they did such a beautiful job on the coloring of these cards. And I really love the backs. So neat. 2 of Cups, get that romance on it. I like they have the cute little birds overhead as well. And even the worms in the apple. So fun. 3 of Cups, get the party on. Oh, nice to see a man in this card. Usually it's 3 women. It's nice to see that we're getting some gender reform going, allowing some fellas in on the good times. Your disappointed 4 of Cups with the little hand behind the wall. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to love reading with this deck. I'm the most excited about this deck that I've been in as long as I can remember. I am getting the Fantastic Menagerie in September on a back order, so I'm equally excited for that deck. But I usually only buy 1 or 2 decks a year. I mean, this is a treat for me. It was about $64 with all the shipping, which is not bad at all for what it is. It's such a work of art. So I love this 6 of Cups, how she has the memories and the nostalgia and the photos, because again, I'm a Cancerian, and for me, nostalgia is such a juicy part of life that I feel we're kind of missing out on right now. You know, we're so focused on the present, and I love history and looking at my old stories and memories. And fun 7 of Cups. I love the window shopping aspect of it. Oh, brilliant. 8 of Cups. And it's fun that, you know, it's using the historical clothing, and I like how it's going through different types of historical clothing, from rich people to peasants to farmers. And presuming it's all sort of in the same general area of the turn of the century, 18 to 1900s. If anyone knows much about costuming, I'd be really interested to learn if you want to share anything of what you see here. Nine of Cups, he's well provided for. He's got his carafe of liqueur. 10 of Cups, they're having a good time. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is turn of the century. It seems very much so to me, but if you have any insights of your own into the historical aspects of this card, the fairy tale aspects, the costume aspects, I would be fascinated to learn. I know things, but I don't know everything, and I'm totally fine to be corrected if you ever have something to share. So Knight of Cups and Queen of Cups. Did I miss the page? No, there he is. And that King of Cups is really, boy, he's an old, he looks like he crawled out of the ocean. And Ace of Swords, again, capturing that air, that beautiful blue, while still keeping it different than that lightness and brightness of the water of the Ace of Cups. Love it. I like that she even has the posture of making a decision in that one. This is another card that sold me on the deck. Look at this Three of Swords. So you have that hair in the locket, that sort of broken-hearted memory of a lost love. Just deliciousness. This deck is delicious, and it was hard for me to hold off to do this reveal. I really wanted to make this a reveal deck. Oh, love that Five of Swords. And I'm really glad that I waited, because it's such a worthy deck of people giving a good look at before they purchase. Because I think, personally, I can't see anything in this deck so far that I'm like, oh my god, I love how he's running across rooftops with the stars behind him. Beautiful. Just every card has such thought and beauty put into it. Following a lot of the traditional meanings. Oh my god, I love this Nine of Swords. I mean, how could you not? Look at that. This is such my taste. This is my taste. I mean, I have other taste. I also have the Bosch Tarot. That's another kind of taste. But it's very, Tim Burton. It's very, comic-y, but in a, I don't know, in a children's book style of art. Love that Queen of Swords, actually. She's great. And the King of Swords, they have such firm looks. So then, yeah, the beautiful green with the soft blue. Love that Ace of Pentacles with the earth growing up around it, the roses. Two of Pentacles, goofy sailor guy with nets. Oh, which pentacle to catch? Which fish to catch in his net? Brilliant. Love it. Nice. The miser. He's a great miser. Although I might say that I might take a little issue. He looks a little bit too much like the guy from Oliver. And there's some potential unpolitically correct things happening in that card I'm not sure I'm on board with. That's the first criticism I really have of this deck. And it has that fairy tale thing, which is going to relate to some of these older ways of thinking, I guess. But feel free to share your thoughts on that Four of Pentacles if you have any. So that was very much the Oliver sort of story too. Definitely very Dickens. A lot of Dickens vibe in here. Reminds me of Pete's Dragon a little bit too. I love the original Pete's Dragon. And the steampunk vibe, you know. It has a steampunk vibe, but it's not totally steampunk. It really is much more Victorian, I think, but beautiful. A lot of them are just very modern interpretations of traditional cards, and some of them really throw a fun loop into the card. Family portraits. And I really appreciate how the characters in here are still in the same colors as the ace, with that green earth and light blue sky above. They put a lot of thought into this. So let's see. Much more of a natural age difference for for a king and queen. And coming soon. Wow. I don't know what's coming soon, but I gotta say, I'm intrigued and excited. From Taroteca. So that's the Dark Mansion Tarot. I am so excited about this deck. This is the most excited I've been about a deck in a long time. And it says inside, we've created this tarot deck for 2.5 years, putting our heart and commitment into it. We hope that you will love it as much as we do. Graphic artist, Magdalena Kakzan. Production and substantive consultations, Krzysztof Waziuk. Hope I say that right. I did grow up with a Polish family around me, so I try my best. I also just want to give you a chance to see the cards spread out a bit. They have a gold edging on them that is really beautiful, fun. And just as they spread, they make a nice little flare of gold. And yeah, that's a really nice design. And also the cards themselves, they're a nice hardy stock. You know, they're a nice hardy stock. They feel like they're going to last a long time. They're not very bendable, like it's not too easy to bend them. And they're really smooth. This is a beautiful deck, and thank you, Dark Mansion. Thank you, Taroteca, for making something really artistically creative. Here's the back. And something that I'm excited to read cards with. I'm always excited to read cards, but this is going to be a fun journey. So please post in the comments any thoughts you have about my first unveiling, and if you also have any advice as to how you'd like a future unveiling to be done. I would be happy to listen in on that and do it differently next time. I also hope that you'll subscribe to my page, and I hope that you'll come and check me out on Facebook under Present Path and Instagram under Present Path Tarot. And I hope you have a fun time playing with your tarot cards today. Take care.